There we go.
Yep.
Greetings, friends. As this is a live stream, the exact nature of the game is always up in the air. But tonight's episode comes with possible content warnings for eyes, eye gore, mind control, abusive relationships, and familial death. Thank you and enjoy the episode. Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Alterra, Headquarters of the Mad Capitalist. I'm your host and games master for the evening, James Robertson, and joining me this evening, Mind Over Matter, Ben playing Pizzazz the Gnome Wizard.
Greetings.
Nature versus Nurture, Bob plays as Lanwar the Firbolg Druid.
Just because I like the trees doesn't mean it's an over-exaggeration relationship.
Cool, Calm and Collected, Neil as Dion the Half-Orc Ranger.
Hey.
And the Screams, the Terrible Screams, TR playing as Glack the Kobold Cleric.
It's my party and I'll cry if I want to.
Last time, Glack, the Green Kobold Cleric of Bragg, the proprietor of Critical Fit, a gym in downtown Sigil, embarked upon a mission to find his beloved patron, who'd been MIA for months for reasons unknown. A rival gym was opening up, and the leaders, 4 Turtles, had challenged Critical Fit for the right to rule this district, leaving Glack and co 1 week to find Bragg. They headed to the last place he'd been seen, a pub in the Lower East Side, which had been burned down, and found a possible clue, a scrap of scorched parchment with what the party took to be a stylized sun upon it, with Bragg's name on the back. After learning from a witness nearby that pubs had been burning down recently in this district, the party headed for the only one still standing, a poor chic place called the Flowery Fancy. After infiltrating it, they discovered a secret passage which took them down through an underground sewer base to where a mind flayer was having an orc servant torture a prisoner. The mind flayer escaped through a portal, though the party were able to dispatch the orc and quickly follow. But to where? Who knows? And that's where we pick up today, with you, the party, having just stepped through this portal. I believe it was Lanwar who actually had went through first.
Yeah.
And as you step through the portal, you can see what you think to be the other side. And you see the mind flayer waiting for you, readying another spell and seemingly pointing at the portal and readying himself for combat. But as Glack, you hear a overriding in your earpiece. No one else hears it. Overriding. You see that portal shimmer into blackness, and another one adorned with cogs and what looked to be small barrels with black powder leaking out, materialize into view on your right-hand side. Go through there. It's safer. Glack hears over his earpiece. You all pile through that door and fall in a heap, having apparently been shunted to somewhere else, not the other end of the portal. The mind flayer is nowhere in sight. You are in a... Oh shit, let me just open the book. You're in an unlit room, choked with dust and cobwebs. 20 kegs of black powder are stacked neatly in the middle of the room, and each keg has a paper label written on which are the words, "Smoke powder, do not open," in Common and Elvish. You see a small corridor leading to the southwest. It too is thick with cobwebs, and as you glance over there, you can make out the backside of a secret door. If you want to drag yourselves onto the map.
Already done for me. I can read either label.
I guess it's very quiet. You don't hear anything. You don't know where you might be. This place is just... It seems to be like a hidden room that no one seems to know about.
What happened there?
I think it was Junkrat. I don't know
Junkrat?
how.
Again with Junkrat. What's going on?
I don't know. Maybe he just wanted to save us. You know, kobolds stay together.
Oh god, the powder here as well. Is this his room?
No, I don't think there's enough explosives in here.
No, not quite. Anyway, we have that other fellow that we need to track down.
Mm-hmm.
Do we want to be a bit more stealthy about our approach, or are we going in this one's all guns blazing?
I mean,
Right.
before we do that, is everybody feeling okay?
Not too bad.
A little bit damaged, but I'm fine.
I can help if you need a bit healing.
This room seems very quiet and out of the way, and you reckon you could get a short rest in here.
I mean, since we're not where he expected anyway, surely it's better for us if he doesn't know when we're coming. It's more of a surprise. So maybe just a quick rest.
Can do, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, as you roll your hit dice and very quickly sort of make your way, whoever wishes can listen at the door once you pass through. We should have probably rolled the short rest before the start of the session. I realise. Sorry. This is a part of D&D, audience. Bookkeeping, the best part. Rolling math dice, clacky stones and stuff.
The clacky stones favor us.
But yes, anyway, after your short rest, you make your way to this sort of secret door. It itself is choked with similar cobwebs, but as you sort of put your ear to it and listen out, you don't hear anything in there either.
Sounds pretty safe.
Sounds pretty empty.
Okay. Well, then let us sneak forward until we see this squid man and pull his tentacles off.
Okay. Before we do that, there we go.
Excellent. So right before you push the door open, the secret door from the back side of it, you cast your spell, and suddenly the shadows and cobwebs seem to cling to you, and make you appear almost dust-like in this space. But as you push open the door, it is dark in here. But you, Lanwar, you have dark vision with goggles, don't you?
Yes. I have.
Yeah. So you can all see in this room. There is no light. But you can make out the following features: 2 open crates resting against the northern wall. And yeah, on the map, it's that's north there where the door is. 2 open crates resting against that northern wall. There's a stone desk in the southwest corner, which is completely free of papers. The chair behind it is carved with a spider motif, and bare stone bookshelves stand against the eastern wall. As you look around, there's also a door, which is locked. You've come out of a bookshelf, by the way, which rotated.
So the barrels are open. Are they empty and open, or just open?
Which the crates, you mean, by the door?
Yeah.
Yes. One's, as you stride over to one, you see one contains a bunch of little stuffed beholder dolls. The other contains onyx trophies, each depicting a smiling beholder being caressed by hands. And topped, it does look like they are made of gems.
Do
But
any of the toys have the same emblem as the coin we found?
no.
Damn.
But the central eye of the beholder, and you notice this beholder has 12 eyes atop its head instead of the usual 10, which is quite unusual. You do notice that its central eye appears to be studded with some kind of arcanite. Different. It seems to be random. There are a few of red, a few of orange, a couple of green, no yellow, rather unsurprisingly, and no black. The more common ones stud
Take
the
them
central
with
eye.
us.
Could do.
I mean, they're very cute.
Yeah, there are 30 of them, and they're about the size of your arm. They're about
So
30
they're quite a
centimeters.
decent size.
Yeah, they're 30, 40 centimeters tall. They look like little trophies.
Yeah, but this is what a bag of holding's for. Random
Yeah.
crap that you forget about later.
I was
Uh,
about to say, Pizzazz will open his bag of holding and motion to just start putting them in.
Yeah, you empty the crates into your bag of holding. So 50 stuffed beholder dolls, and 30 beholder trophies.
I'm going to take 2 of the stuffed ones and just try and juggle.
Okay.
Roll
So-
me a dexterity performance check.
A dexterity performance check.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
Dexterity check plus your proficiency bonus if you're proficient in performance. I mean, you managed to juggle the 2 of them for a couple of seconds. It doesn't
and I
look
am
pretty,
not.
though. Yeah, it doesn't look pretty, though.
So I've
It's
put on my thing 48
quite
stuffed
awkward.
beholder dolls and 30 beholder statuettes.
Yeah.
You say the door is locked? Like,
The door is locked, yes. There's still the desk as well that you haven't looked at.
I'll investigate the desk then.
All right, roll me an investigation check. As I mentioned, the desk is free of papers completely. It's carved out of what appears to be a solid block of stone, but as you move from it and sort of push the chair underneath to where it was, you'd pulled it out to investigate. You hear like something maybe in the chair clunk slightly. And as you search it, you find a secret compartment under its left armrest. You prise it open. It has a tiny black key, which, as you look back at the desk, the locks on the desk drawers have a similar looking lock. As you put the lock in the keyholes, you see in the first one a book, a sturdy tome, bound in black leather and wrapped in webbing. And in the second drawer, there's just a black sort of what looks like a napkin.
But not necessarily is a napkin?
I don't know. Are you examining it?
Yeah, I'll examine the supposed napkin.
Yeah. As you take it out and unfold it, and it unfolds to the size of a tablecloth and still has a couple of folds left in it. It's to this point you recognize it as a portable hole.
All right.
Oh.
I
Yeah.
tell everybody of my findings.
Oh.
It's like, I have a portable hole and some weird book.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure.
As you look at it,
language of the book.
as you flick it open, you can see it's written in these strange sort of glyphs, which as Pizzazz comes over, Pizzazz, you're able to recognize them as arcane runes. This is a spell book.
Uh-huh.
towards the back of the book, you see more powerful spells of 6th and 7th circle, but it would take some time to probably transcribe them into your own spellbook.
Into the bag of holding it goes.
Into the bag of holding.
Yes.
So, black leather spellbook wrapped in webbing, and remind me after the session, and I'll tell you what's in it.
Dan, do you want to come over and listen at the door, see if you can hear anything?
Okay. And we will go for
Perception.
Yeah.
You don't hear anything at all from the corridor beyond, but as you drop down to your knees and look through the keyhole, you see a short corridor, which does branch off to the left, and a door directly opposite. But you don't hear anything at all. Actually, with a nat 20, with a 30, in fact, you hear sounds of like muffled cheers, the sounds of combat coming from a distance off, maybe upstairs somewhere. You appear to be still underground.
In a direction
as well.
I can't quite tell. It's
Yeah. Just echoing along these corridors, just there's the occasional roar of a crowd, perhaps.
I think we're near somewhere that has crowds. I can't quite tell where it's coming from, but I hear muffled cheers for some reason. But we have 2 ways we can go when we go out here.
Okay, well, let's try and get this door open first.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Roll
one
me
problem
a-
at a time.
You know what? You don't even need to roll, because I think your Thieves' Tools check is that high. You eventually get it open, and you sort of shuffle out. You're still being stealthy. Lan, keeping that perception as you get up to the sort of edge of that area, you see sticking out of the wall here, about halfway up the corridor,
Mhm.
is a small little eye stalk, like a surveillance camera. It moves back and looks down this way towards yet another door, and after about 6 seconds, maneuvers back up this way to look at this corridor.
So it's oscillating.
Yes, and oscillating. But it looks like a human eye on a short tendril of inky blackness, which just sprouts from the wall.
Well, just as I sort of see that, I'll sort of put my arms out to stop the rest of the party moving forward.
All right.
There seems to be some weird eye shifting to look up both ways, turning. So, how would I notice how fast it was sort of turning?
Yes. So one round it would look there. Second round it would look there. Every 6 seconds, you wager. Round 3, round 4, etc.
Every 6 or so seconds, it seems to turn.
Each square is 10 foot, by the way, just so you're aware.
Okay. And stealthing's not going to help with this.
I mean, you reckon if you timed it correctly, you could definitely at least get to that door. Possibly the faster, stealthier persons among you might get to this corridor here, wherever that leads. Actually, that's not there. That's not a corridor. Let me just cover that up.
Corridors here.
Yes,
Okay.
that's the corridor.
That's just like a bump in the drawing.
Yeah, sorry.
Are we going across, or do we want to try and get down to the other corridor? What's our thoughts?
Or shall we go
Can
across
you
first?
tell? Sorry.
Also, go across first, and then if nothing's there, we come back.
I have a feeling I know what you were going to suggest there. I don't think we want to kill a camera or a surveillance thing that might alert something.
No, I wasn't going to say that.
Okay,
I
but
was
you
going.
were. Sorry, Neil.
I was going to ask if you could determine which way all the laughter and cheering was coming from, straight ahead or to our left.
I can't really tell. It's just a little too distant.
It seems to be echoing down the corridors, but since all the doors are closed, it's kind of muffled. You can't really tell.
It's anybody's guess.
Yeah, unless you listen specifically for that.
Oh, wait. You might have a spell that might help us here. It may alert them to our presence, but certainly might help, unless it can see through it.
Is it going to be a fog cloud?
No, I believe our archer here knows darkness. Do you not?
And no silence.
Oh, it was silence.
I mean, I've got a scroll of fog cloud.
I mean, do we want to actually do that, or do we just want to pin it looking one way, and then at least they may think it's
Broken?
rather than, well, at least it gives us slightly more time rather than, hey, fog cloud. Because the fog cloud, we might as well just walk through and go, hey, it's us, and keep the spell. Because I've got an immovable rod that I can just shove next to the camera, so it's facing one way only.
Zaz, roll me an Arcana check as Lanwar sort of points out this eye to you.
Mm-hmm. 23.
23. You recognize this as a spell of some description. It's a ghostly eye stalk, some sort of magical sensor that would probably allow a mage to peer through it. You can't determine from this side who's peering through it or from where. Can't be destroyed. It can't be damaged. But it could theoretically, if it's created by a spell, could be destroyed by a dispel magic. You're with a 23. You're aware that this kind of spell doesn't give you blind sense or true sight, so invisibility or an illusion might work or something.
Can anyone cast minor illusion?
Not me.
No.
Don't know anybody else.
Don't have any minor illusions. I can go invisible for a little bit. But it'd only be for short turn.
Mm-hmm.
So I could maybe get there and put the Glack's rod to stop it moving.
That, or I could just cast fog cloud in there.
Well, shall we
If
check
you're
the other
not-
room first, and then we come back? We might find a little hood we can just chuck over it.
Yes, well, we need to make a decision.
With the right timing, you make your way across the corridor and find that the door at this end of the corridor is not locked.
Get in!
You charge in, and you find yourself in a rather large area, which the more religious among you would recognize as a crypt of some description, like a vault. Suspended in floor-to-ceiling crystal cylinders, you recognize as silver arcanite, the encasing arcanite. Cylinders are 4 dead beholders preserved in what appears to be embalming fluid. Magical lights illuminate the cylinders from within. 9 shallow alcoves, also set into the wall, have murals of beholders painted on their walls. Standing in each alcove is a beholder-shaped copper urn, topped with a different color arcanite. Atop a green marble pedestal, the lid of each urn is molded with the 10 uncommon and rare Arcanites as eye stalks.
Pizzaz's nose is pressed up against the beholder's things. Against the isn't like the tank sort of thing.
I'm gonna do a medicine check on the beholder thing to see if
Let's see if they're alive.
Yeah, sure. You move in which one? The far left? 1, 2, 3, 4?
I will go for the one
Okay.
here.
Yeah, with that medicine check, you swear you see it twitch slightly.
Can I do a religion check to see if this is actually something beyond us are known to do once they pass?
Yeah, go for it.
I mean, it's unlikely, but yeah, that's
You never
unlikely to know.
You're vaguely aware of some religious ceremonies, mostly like a Viking burial type situation, or sky burial, where you leave the bones, where you leave the body of someone up a mountain, let the birds have their way, and then bury the bones. This one's strange. You know, some people pay ridiculous sums, legendary soul shards upon legendary soul shards, to try and prolong their lives. You even know one bard, a few decades ago now, paid to have himself encased in blue arcanite and frozen solid. But medicine, they're still not able to bring him back. Apparently, there was a problem with the process.
They didn't do a proper medicine check. Just like that.
But this is quite unusual. It's certainly keeping the bodies of the beholders fresh. They're not. They've not become death tyrants.
I'm going to try a medicine check.
Okay, this is the second time it's been done, so no one else can do one after this. Just so you're aware.
All
Which one? Just this one you doing it on, or same one as Lan?
Guidance.
right.
Yeah.
Pop
The same
over and
one
give
as
guidance. Yeah, you pop over and give guidance. Dion moves over. You can't be certain, but you swear you saw this one move. As you all crowd around it.
Oh, I think it's alive. It's moving. It's moving.
Which eye?
Glack, as you look to it, it's not moving. They're just really bad at diagnosing death. It's definitely dead. It's pickled in a jar, for goodness sake. Looks dead to you.
It's just,
It could be like suspended animation.
it was probably just the water shifting a little bit with us moving in here.
And plus, we've seen what Mr. Brightside can do.
True, but this doesn't look like him.
Yeah, it's the same principle.
Yeah.
Potentially, anyway.
Pizzazz, what were you doing? Were you wandering around, or just continuing to keep your nose pressed against one of the jars? Or were you investigating the other things? Since everyone else has had a thing to do. Pizzazz?
What's that, sorry?
I was just wondering what you were getting up to while Lanwar and Dion
Failed our
were
medicine.
saying, "Oh, ghost," and Glack was like, "Oh yeah, they're dead."
Bazaz is just figuring out how to raise these from the dead.
Roll an Arcana check for me. See if you can guess.
16.
You're fairly certain. Like if they'd been sort of fresher corpses, you reckon you might have been able to possibly bring them back in some way, shape, or form as beholder zombies.
Mm-hmm.
But because they've been pickled like this, you reckon the magic might be affected somewhat. Yeah.
No, fair enough.
They've stiffened up. They won't be supple dead monsters like they used to.
Yeah. They would be very squishy as well if you sort of broke open the crystal and
Started poking them.
poked at one. Yeah, it'd be like a jellyfish on dry land. But as you begin to move about this chamber, you do see the western wall carved to display a scowling beholder, flanked by two hooded wizards. Beneath each wizard's cowl, one glaring eye is visible over on this wall here. Beholder in the middle, flanked by two wizards. And aside from the crystal tombs and the urns and the carving on the wall, this room doesn't appear to have much about it.
No. I think we're going to have to go past the camera.
I don't suppose squirting some embalming fluid on the camera will do any good, you think?
Does anybody have any kind of reflective surface so that when the camera moves, it thinks it's looking at the other end?
No.
You know,
Some
trick it into
adventurers
thinking
carry mirrors. If someone can give me a reason why they might have a mirror.
Unless they're very vain.
not just specifically a mirror, but something with a very good reflective surface.
A very shiny shield, perhaps.
For instance, yes, if anybody was to be carrying something like that.
No, you're not getting my +2 shield.
Roll a sleight of hand check, Dion.
Sleight of hand.
Yeah. Yeah. As you frisk yourself and pat yourself down, you sort of alight on something in your back pocket, and as you sort of pull it out, you notice it's a very shiny dagger. And you reckon you could look around corners with it, possibly, but nothing of the size. Like the corridor is 10 foot wide. But as you pull it out, you alight on a possibility. If you use this to look around the corner, you would maybe be able to, as soon as the eye turns away from you, be able to immediately start going for this area here. Perhaps might give you enough time to get there.
I put this to the rest of the group to see if they're happy to go along with this or if they have any other ideas.
Who's the fastest among us? I mean, I can
The
certainly...
monk.
It's probably you, but you'd have to wild shape.
I got 50 feet.
I got 50 feet on a broom.
Yeah, 50 feet on broom as well.
I guess I would have to expend another one of my transformations to get there as quick as you lot.
What if, silly question, what if I just ran up the ceiling and over the ceiling that way? I could click my movable rod when I'm over it and just put the mirror in front and hold it left and right.
Well, I've got bits of spider climbing as well.
Oh no, I just run.
As you alight on this thought, you do remember that the eye is only really looking at the floor. If you did, you reckon you could possibly go over it. It's only about 3/4 of the way up the wall. So possibly flight. Very possibly spider climbing.
If you want to stop the thing moving, I wouldn't say no to you trying that.
Oh, we can keep it moving and use Dion's dagger to reflect it back so he doesn't see anything.
Just in case anybody is
Looking through
watching, they won't suspect anything if the eye doesn't look like it's stopped moving.
Okay. We have a plan of sorts. I mean, I would like to probably save my last transformation for.
You short rested.
Oh, would I not? Did I get another one back?
Yes, they recharge at a short rest.
What was long rest?
For wild shape, no. They recharge at a short rest. 100%.
Okay, sorry then, I'm talking crap. I've been staring at this beholder too long. So, yeah, I can expend a wild shape and become something fast. I could even be something that climbs across the ceiling.
Or we can just hop on the 2 brooms. I can run and we can just get over it and time our way past it.
Mm-hmm.
So do we want to go corridor or door? Or, like, if the camera is there-ish, shall we at least get to there so we can see down the corridor a little bit?
Yes, if we can get to there, I can certainly look down there and see.
Well, I think one of the guys on the broom should float above the camera and take a look down. I think that should be quite safe.
I will go with whoever wants to take me there.
Well,
And
here's the thing. You and Dion are both pretty large.
I was
Glack
going to suggest
and
would Lan not be better going
Pizzazz.
with Pizzazz?
Yeah, Glack and Pizzazz are both kind of small. You are aware that the brooms, if they get too much weight on them, they do slow down significantly.
that's or I can just become something with probably better sight down that corridor anyway. Oh, why not? And I'll expend my wild shape and become an eagle.
An eagle,
A giant
not
eagle.
a giant eagle.
Yeah.
Is that going to be huge?
It is 10. It is a large creature. It is 10 foot. So you would need to walk down the corridor. You could not extend your wings.
Damn it.
So not a spider, basically. Just an eagle. Yeah, just making sure.
Could you not
Don't let my incredulity fool you.
fly something smaller?
An eagle could be very useful. A giant eagle, especially. If you want to become a giant eagle.
I don't know. I think knowing that the corridor's that wide and knowing what size I am as an eagle, I probably better not turn an eagle. I'm going.
I mean, conversely, if whoever's looking through the security camera just goes, "Jim, are you seeing this? Is that a giant eagle walking down that corridor?" Now, why would a giant eagle be walking down the corridor, Bob? We're 4 floors underground. Why? How would a giant eagle get down here? I don't know. You're just seeing things.
Shit, most of my transformations at CR1 are large. So even my ice spider is large.
You could become a regular little tiny spider.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah, screw it. I'm gonna be a small spider on the end on the end of one of their brooms.
Good.
Tiny spider.
Excellent. Okay, so we're flying over the camera, basically.
Yeah.
All right. So, with this, you've done that. So it would be a dexterity check from everyone who is piloting the brooms. So, probably the 2 smalls, I think. Right. 17 from Pizzazz.
So it's got to be Dion because it's his broom.
Oh, Dion, you're piloting your broom, aren't you? While Glack just runs
yeah.
over. Yeah. So a dexterity check, please. That's a save.
Oh,
Let's click on
So
Dex.
minus 4. Yeah. Dex check. Just click on not on the save. Pizzazz is fine because his modifier is the same. Dion.
yeah, I'm just trying to find dexterity.
The actual
Yeah,
stat
there it
1d6.
is.
Yeah, I thought you actually said save as well.
Still
It's-
ended up the same thing as mine.
Yeah, it's
I'm consistent,
still-
okay?
it's a 14. Yeah, it's fine. There's a moment where you think as you sort of barrel roll over the top, you feel something drop off of your belt. What items do you have on your belt? Because you make it past, but you do drop something in the corridor.
On my belt.
Yeah, something on your belt that easily could fall off. A potion, maybe a bundle of magical arrows, perhaps.
Can I use my reaction to catch it? Being a monk and catching arrows is kind of what I do.
If Dion picks something that's small enough for you to catch, sure. Dion, what falls off your belt? I'm trying out a new method of failures. It's like a minor setback thing. So what falls off your belt, Dion?
I do have a hand axe.
A hand axe. Okay. Yep. So that slips out from the back of your belt. Glack, you can roll a dex save for sure. Yeah.
Actually, wouldn't it be my deflect missile? Because that is the thing designed to catch things.
No, it'd be a dex save, I'm afraid. To just sort of realize what's happening and reach out as you reflex. Your reflex save.
I do not mind.
Yep. You starfish it, and as you reach down, one fluid movement, you come right back up and you're sat on the broom. And you pop the axe back in, and you all make it to the far end of the corridor, just as the eye is swinging back round to the east. You quickly make your way through this door.
Can I make a quick perception check as we went past that? Where the
The door. On the
Yeah,
wall.
sure. Roll a perception check with a spider's perception.
All right.
Well, I assumed everybody looked down there on the way.
Right, I need to find us.
Actually, that's a fair point. Everyone looks down there on the way. You see a set of stairs leading up and twisting around a corner. But as you make your way through this door, you see yourself in a kitchen. Black smoke follows the stench of burned meat and bread down the hallway as you arrive at the door and crack it open. It's magically lit, and a haggard male halfling frantically tries to cook meat, knead dough, simmer sauce, and mix spices all at once. An iron stove stands against the southern wall, and cooking utensils hang from hooks just beyond the halfling's reach. As he spots you, the halfling, a relieved smile crosses his face, and he says, "Finally!" excitedly. "I hadn't had a break in half a week. Make sure you stir the sauce once every 5 minutes."
Gotcha.
He then takes off his apron, hands it to Pizzazz, glances at Glack curiously and says, jabs a thumb towards the northern passage and says, "Aren't you lot supposed to be in the other kitchen, though? Anyway, I'm out of here." He heads off through this door, through this hallway here. Along the corridor, you hear a door open and close, and the sounds of sort of laughter and like drinking songs coming from a room at the far end of the tunnel. You're in a kitchen.
Could I scuttled onto him and
I was going to suggest that.
followed him for a little bit and.
Interesting. Roll a stealth check for me.
Okay.
More importantly, is there anything I can do to refill my pocket chicken?
I'm still concentrating on pacificatory, so
Yeah.
So even as the spider, I get extra stuff for this too.
Mm-hmm.
The hell went on there?
Glack, the meat that's cooking is like an animal, large animal of some sort. There's no chicken cooking.
Plus 10.
So since that came directly from Lanwar for some reason, that's 29 for the audience.
Yes.
Yeah, you stick to like the back of his jacket, and you make it through this area here. There are stairs which the halfling heads towards. But you yourself, as you enter this area, hold on. It is filled with deafeningly loud music and chatter. It's magically lit and is decorated like a tavern. You see 10 humans, all sitting around 2 trellis tables, drinking ale, smoking pipes, clapping their hands, stomping their feet, while 2 goblins wearing chamber pots on their heads dance and sing atop this third table here. There is a wooden rack along the eastern wall holding 5 large ale barrels with spigots punched into them, and protruding from the ceiling above the barrels is another one of those ghostly eye stalks. You overhear the people in here, the men talking. You hear one of them say, "Oh yeah, we're what a great celebration! Amergo says the boss is happier than a pink flumph, whatever that is. Today, free ale. Tomorrow, gold and glory." Proclamations followed by loud cheers. Roll me a perception check as you see in one sort of corner, talking to another one, a couple of very shifty-looking men.
How do you do a perception on the spider? Because it just says passive perception at 10.
So yeah, just roll me a flat d20 then. Flat perception. 14. Yeah, you just catch word as you can scuttle off the halfling and onto the wall, if you'd like. So as the halfling proceeds up the stairs, you scuttle off him and onto the wall, and you're just sort of standing on the wall above these 2 guys, and you scuttle as close as you dare, because as a spider, like people don't generally like spiders. Mm-hmm. Plus in this world, they can be used as well to spy on people as familiars. But you hear one go, "So how goes the plans for infiltrating the tower?" "There is no suspicions so far. With the Gabrus out of the way, we can easily infiltrate the place, and well, the boss will soon have all the power in the city. All those dark places, we will take them all. The corridors of Brightside Towers will belong to us." So that's Lan, who's a spider in. As you hear this perception, that's lower than your stealth. So they one of them says cheers to the other one. They clink a couple of whiskey glasses together and watch the goblins dance and sing. Meanwhile, back in the kitchen, Glack's filling his pockets with meat. There is sauce that is dangerously close to bubbling over, and further up the northern passageway, you hear yet more clanking, and actually a delightful aroma wafts down the hall from that area. The scents of rare spices, savory meats, fresh herbs, and you can make out a couple of people just moving and milling to and fro down that corridor. No, not the corridor. Down that corridor in the room beyond.
Well, do you 2 want to wait till Spiderland gets back, and I'll just take a quick look up.
Yeah, as you get halfway up the corridor and glance in, you can make out 7 kobolds. A couple of reds, 1 green, a black, and 2 silver. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep. Wearing white toque hats, dashing between stout tables, frantically preparing meals, and arranging food on silver platters. A lot of the food you see isn't terribly appetizing. There is a healthy diet of mushrooms, mostly mushrooms and onions. Watching over the kobolds are a few more of those squishy grapefruit-sized, bug-eyed gazers that you saw before. And as you sneak there and watch, one of them uses an eye beam to levitate or telekinetically grab a silver platter that one of the kobolds has just finished preparing, and it moves towards this passageway here and out of sight, carrying the tray aloft with it. You head back to your kitchen and you relay this to your party. Yeah.
Spider-Man.
What's everyone doing at this juncture, please? Not Lan. We know what Lan's doing. Trying to get home.
Yeah.
Pizzazz, Dion.
Is anyone gonna stir the sauce?
Yeah, Glack will stir the sauce.
Glack was spying on kobolds.
Never mind.
Dion will stir the sauce just to try and not arouse suspicion.
Yeah, you look around and then just shrug and start stirring the sauce. Pizzazz, anything?
I'm gonna ritual cast Unseen Servant.
Perfect. So by the end of that, Lan has managed to make his way back to you. Anyone wish to do or say anything in those intervening minutes?
So, do you think we should get one of the kobolds in and we switch places?
I think it's time to drop the spider form.
Lanwar reappears.
And I tell them what I overheard up there.
Perfect.
Okay, so, like with all things, I think you need to follow the food.
Follow the food.
Yes.
You follow your stomach everywhere, don't you?
An army marches on its stomach.
I see.
Well, this is why you've got pocket beef now.
I've seen you taking some of the hero's feast along with you.
Why would you not?
I should teach you.
Aren't you a druid? Don't you get good berries everywhere?
Yeah, I should teach you that spell someday.
I mean, it would be great. So, shall we go disrupt the kitchen?
You should be the one to do it, and you said they're kobolds.
It's a room full of kobolds.
You should maybe go in there and act like the big one in charge. Maybe.
Okay. From the spices in this kitchen, is there anything like excessively hot or bad to add a lot to food?
Roll a This would be an investigation check, I think.
It-
Do you have proficiency in cook's utensils?
I do not. I'm just looking for something that when you smell it goes, yeah.
Yeah, then perception or investigation.
I don't know
As
why.
you just go about, sniffing jars. Yeah, you stumble across a few ingredients that make your eyes water. There's one in particular, actually, as you shift a couple of like really hot sort of spices out of the way, your hand knocks against a small box, and you see on it a dead rat and a skull and crossbones. So you've got that, or the incredibly like really vibrantly red spice in your hand.
I'm going for the vibrantly red spice.
Okay, that's fair. As you grab it, you hear Lanwar, this door open, and you hear a cry of, "Yeah, go see what's taking the food so long. We're meant to be celebrating." "Yeah, I'm going. I'm going." What do you all do? You've got maybe 5-10 seconds, perhaps.
I'm
10, 20.
gonna move to the other door because I might stand out a little bit too much. I'm gonna go into here.
Yeah, you do so.
I chuck the vibrant red and the
Into the
poison
soup.
into the soup and start stirring.
The vibrant red and the poison. Oh,
Yeah.
amazing.
Like,
Yeah.
Stir. It's coming.
There's a small black plume that, as you panic and chuck both them in, they just like a.
Dion
Like the
coughs
smoke
and
turns
splutters
into
a
a
bit.
face.
Dion continues stirring. Pizzazz is wearing the apron, and Glack is adding ingredients. So the guy arrives and is like, "Oi, wait! Oh, are you covering for what's his name? The fucking
We just got here, yeah.
It's
Yeah,
on for smoke.
yeah, fucking halflings. They're always smoking, ain't they? What's taking the sauce? What's taking the food so long?
Just about to serve up, and I start grabbing bowls.
Oh, fucking excellent, mate. We're starving. He asks, "Don't reckon I could get a taste before I go, do ya?"
It'll be there in a minute. Calm down.
Good things come to those who wait.
He stomps off, muttering something about fucking kobolds. He stomps back to the store and says, "It'll be 30 seconds, mates." And there's a loud cheer goes up from the cavern hallway, and then a cry of, "Right, get rid of the fucking goblins. All right, piss off." You hear a clang of pots being dropped and the goblins running up the stairs. In short order, your unseen servant and Glack and anyone else who wishes to can sort of serve up the soup and the beef and bring it out and sort of lay it down. There are chafing dishes already set up on that table. And yeah, little do you know that they're the pots that the goblins were wearing before. You set everything down. There's like a big. It's like a big pot of chili.
I'm not going to be using the unseen servant to bring stuff out.
That's fine.
Just to make just so they're not aware that magic is a thing.
Okay, yeah. Are you leaving it in the kitchen, or are you sending it to do other things?
I was going to send it to basically explore.
Okay.
It can't communicate. I don't think.
It can attack. It's attack task best of its ability. Yeah, if you have it move more than 60 feet away from you, the spell ends. And remember, each square is 10 feet. So
Right, gotcha.
you could get it to grab something from this kitchen, perhaps, or create a distraction in there. But beyond that,
for the time being, I'll just have it clean in this kitchen.
okay. I'm just gonna roll something. That's not good for them. Glack, roll. We'll say 4 die 12, please. Also, Lan, as you step out, roll me a luck check to see
Oh, that's
which.
pretty good.
That's horrifying. Yeah, Lan, as you step out into this corridor, by the way, roll me a luck check to see which way the eye is pointing.
Okay, so is that just flat?
Just a d20, yeah.
Oh.
Hey!
20.
lucky you. As you head out, you see it's just at that point swinging round towards the top way. So you could stay there and wait for it to swing back round, or you could head to the stairway if you wished.
I will make a dash for the stairway. And
Yep. Yeah, easily enough. You get sort of round the corner,
Alright.
and kind of wait, I guess, until you're sure that the noise in the kitchen has subsided, and also sort of counting as the seconds go by and the eye swings back around. But so everyone who partakes of the chili in that room takes 35 points of poison damage, and they all die. You hear just as you listen at the door, Glack, you hear like one guy like sputter a couple of poison and collapse to the ground. A table sort of slams onto its side, and you hear the large pot of chili just to the ground. And you look back in, and oh my god, it's blood! Oh no, shit, no, it's just the chili which you made super red. Like you can see in the pot the small corner of like the cardboard box of rat poison that you chucked in there.
Poison
And you just sort of you look around, and yeah, you've downed all 10 of these guys.
I'd just pick up a piece of bread and dip it in the sauce and just have a taste.
Are you immune to poison?
Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah, monks.
still roll me a Constitution save though.
I'm also immune to disease.
Well, it was a DC 20. So you're going to take 5 points of fire damage.
Because of those chilies.
The chili. Wow!
Yes.
Maybe I made it a bit too spicy this time.
Yeah. Steam comes out of your ears, and for a moment, your usually greenish skin goes like vaguely orange and flush. But yeah, everyone in here is unconscious and dead or dying.
How's things going in over there?
This
They
doorway
didn't like the chili?
also here, by the way.
Oh, the people trying
They
to
couldn't
take
handle their chili.
the people trying to take over parts of Brightside's place.
Yeah, those
I mean,
ones.
Yeah, probably. I want to scoop up a decent selection of chili so I can herd it at someday.
Oh yeah, yeah,
You
yeah. So you grab up some Tupperware, and you fill like a doggy bag of
holding.
a doggy bag of floor chili.
I love that
Yeah.
you're just like food collection.
It's great. I really want you to fling that into the eyes of someone.
Yeah.
You just blind them.
Poisoned.
Yeah. So
blinded.
So basically, this works as an ingested poison, which on a failed con save, the person imbibing it takes 4 die 12 poison damage. No, 2 die 12 poison damage and 2 die 12 fire damage. I think you can hurl it at someone, and I'll give them a con save to not be blinded as it hits them. How does that sound?
Sounds good.
Amazing. We'll make up more stuff on the fly together. In this room, there is still this door which is unchecked.
Can we just check the dead people to see if there's anything interesting on their bodies? Any
Loot them.
symbols or loot.
Loot the
Like,
bodies.
That's a point.
User looting the bodies whilst I'm just scouring places.
Yeah, they could have good stuff on them.
And plus, you've got the person with the bag of holding there.
Nothing in here, but as you look up above the barrels, you see the ghostly eye stalk just sort of watching you and taking note.
Uh-oh.
Actually, since I forgot to mention, roll me a stealth check. Just real
Everybody.
quick. Glack, since he went in. Just roll me a retroactive stealth check to see how quick. Yeah. You know what, the what do you call it? The eye stalk is looking around, and if you could see it has no eyelids, so you can't tell if it's alarmed. But you could probably assume whoever's watching this feed is kind of alarmed because 10 people have just been collapsed in piles of chili. But you sort of root around. There are no coins or soul shards in their pockets. They all have weapons, but they're of inferior quality to your own.
Nothing else of any kind of value.
Unless you're someone like me who's still wielding a saber.
I mean, there's 5 barrels of ale, but apart from that, nothing really catches your attention.
Can we hear anything from the other door?
Yes, the sounds of the kitchen.
Aye.
As you sort of head through and glance up, you can see, that leads the way to the kitchen. And also there's a little corridor there as well.
Lan, have you found anything on your side?
I'm just on some stairs now. I don't know what's beyond them.
Are you heading up the stairs?
I will cautiously go up the stairs, remaining stealthy. So.
Okay. Just flick to where that is. It's a very big lair. Area. That leads to there. Perfect. As you get up these stairs, where is it? Apologies.
Mm-hmm.
As you get up these stairs, you see just a large sort of couple. There's a couple of pillars, and roll me an Arcana check as you make your way very stealthily up here. Arcana, yeah. Excellent. You recognize these as a kind of entrance way, perhaps. Anyone who would have the right sort of sigil key would arrive here. Yeah, it looks like a general sort of arrival point.
So basically, the equivalent of an airport terminal.
Essentially, yeah.
But for Arcana means instead of airplanes. I will relay that back to them.
Yep.
Seems
you reckon quite possibly this is where the mind flare arrived.
So basically a sort of waypoint.
considering my character's starting to understand that sort of teleportation stuff, with also knowing how to having the spell of plane shift but can't use it.
Okay, cool. Yeah, you reckon that as you get a closer look and stealth closer, you reckon that you're fairly confident, given the arcane runes sort of scratched around these stone pillars, that this is definitely an entranceway.
You might want to start making your way to me. This seems like where he came in.
I guess we'll follow.
Okay, sounds good. Sneaky seek.
Excellent.
Uh,
Then I will just flick back and grab your characters. Brilliant with the chili, by the way. That's amazing. Take some inspiration, because that was a great play.
oh my
Yeah,
god.
and also 10 people dead.
Oh my god,
It's had nothing to do with the rat poison.
the death chili.
Yeah.
So each square here, by the way, is 10 feet. Just so you're aware. And once again, north is up the way.
Okay.
Listening out with your sort of perception, you do hear the sound of cheers and roaring is more pronounced now on this level. It's coming from this way, down this corridor here.
Can I do I want to do a quick perception to see if I can see any other sort of cameras in this place, just as I'm being a bit stealthy.
Yeah, you don't need to roll perception. You don't see any in this area for sure.
Alright. So this isn't really monitored here.
No, not as far as you can see.
So we head towards the noise or away from?
I don't know what quite the noise is. It seems like a... We don't want to run into more people like you had down there. And I don't know which way the... I don't see... Has anyone got good in... Any good at tracking? Maybe see the... Might have been the last person through here?
I will have a look.
Yep. Roll me a perception check, please, Dion. There are no sort of footprints. This place seems to be kept generally quite clean. But in addition to the noise coming from, it sounds like a fight is taking place. There's the sound of combat. In addition to that, much closer at hand, you can hear someone whistling a tune, and just sort of footsteps making the way up. Like not towards you in particular, but just sort of meandering down a corridor, heading in your vague sort of direction.
Look out, it's the fuzz! They're coming to get us!
As you sort of move up and look out, I'll just say that you look out and see this stuff here. A lot of map to unlock. And you can also make out this room here.
Oh, an arena?
No, not this isn't an arena. No. So the person who's sort of whistling and heading towards you, as you move your way up to here and glance out of it, you just sort of check out and see a dwarf, a large beard on his face, and he's sort of holding a clipboard in one hand and sort of like stroking, well, not stroking, but sort of tapping the walls and these pillars, these long pillars, which run up to the roof and seem to be holding it up. They look like load-bearing pillars. And he's sort of tapping those and occasionally sort of grumbles something and jots something down on his clipboard. He makes his way on. Seems to listen at this door as a particularly loud cheer goes up, and a clang of something, and he sort of grumbles and goes, I wish I could see the fight. As you check down this way, you can make out at the far end of the corridor, and you're now glad that people are being generally quite stealthy, what with all the pass without trace stuff that's going on. In this room, there are a number of weird fish creatures, which you... Did we meet the Kuatoa on level 4?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you recognize them as Kuatoa, gathered in front of an iron portcullis in the southeast corner. They are gathered around this corpse here and tearing chunks off of it with their bare teeth. A ghostly eye stalk protrudes from the ceiling in the middle of the hall and looks to be looking all around, just sort of scanning 360 vision. The floor is littered with bones and covered with a thin layer of just sticky greenish but translucent slime. There are 1, 2, 3 doors leading off this area in addition to the iron portcullis in this corner here.
Well, I don't think we're looking for fish people. So shall we go check out the fight?
Sounds like they're using them for sport.
Yeah.
Do we use a Koto as a distraction? Or do we just try to mingle?
Well, we don't know what's in there yet, so
Yes.
sneak up and take a look.
Shall we?
Yeah.
So which way are you headed?
We're gonna sneak up to the door.
It was towards the fight.
Yeah.
Okay. There is the guy, the dwarf, still in this corridor, by the way. This door here, or that door?
Which one?
The fight noises are coming from there. The dwarf, in fact, has stopped, put his clipboard away, and has taken out like an ale skin, and is just sort of standing by the door. His back to you, but seems to be listening at the door. Like he's sort of abandoned his duties for now, and is listening to the sounds of the fight.
So, do we want to go to the fight, or do we want to check across the hall?
Across the hall first, or
Yeah,
shall we
let's
get rid
check
of the
across
dwarf
the hall
first?
as sneakily as we can.
Stealthing across the hallways.
All right, yeah, I'll just ask for another stealth check very quickly, please.
Scooby-Doo style.
Lan, is that with the +10 from your thingamajigger?
Yes.
Oh man. So a 25, a 23,
Oh,
and a
Jesus.
19. 19 for Dion. Okay. The dwarf does not seem to take note of you. And as you get close, he seems to be sort of swearing under his breath in Dwarvish.
I understand them.
Yeah.
Because I speak Dwarvish.
Yeah, amazing.
Do I hear what he says?
I mean, I'm not just gonna say things.
Aww, I want to hear him swearing and stuff.
I wanted a fully fleshed out character. Dreams.
He's saying stuff like, "Oh, yeah, go on, give him what for." Actually, as you get closer, you can hear the sounds of the fight and someone seemingly amplifying their voice, commenting on it. And you catch things like, because the door again is still muffling it. And he's got his ear pressed to it. You can hear, "Oh, and that's a bad miss from our champion, but here come the werewolves again, and oh, they've ripped an arm off. This looks awful." And you hear the sounds of snarling and loud crowd cheering, and very soon you hear, "Oh, and once again the werewolves have their prize. It looks like dinner time once more, and the keepers are coming out to put them back in their pens." Coming up next, the main event that you've all been waiting for. Grab your drinks and return to your seats and that sort of thing. At this, the dwarf sort of mutters to himself, "Right, if I finish up the inspection, I can be back for the main fight." Right, and he goes to start moving away from the door. How close are you all to him? Having moved up the corridor?
Well, we were moving to here, and
We were going to the centre.
Yeah.
we were going to that one, and then
You go into this door.
so yeah, we
Yeah.
were
Yeah.
moving straight across.
Sorry, I thought you were going to this one here.
No,
Okay. As you head inside here. No, that's the select tool. Reveal area. God damn it.
don't like the sounds of this main event thing.
I recognise the symbol.
As you slip inside, yes. Look down at the floor. Let me just click away from his stat block. That's a shame.
Is that like skeletons from the edges?
You'll
Suits
see.
of armor.
You'll see. So this, yes. So this 40-foot high domed chamber has a circular floor tiled in black marble and bears a gold mosaic of the symbol that you saw on that scrap of parchment before. Jutting from the ceiling is a bronze bell-shaped protuberance, and displayed against the curved walls are a dozen lifelike statues of various humans, elves, dwarves, goblinoids, and kobolds.
Statues of anybody of importance, or do we not know yet?
Roll an insight check for me. See if you recognize anyone.
Do you think they're past winners?
Possibly. Who knows? They are all of the fightery looking persuasion Dion, so maybe they're all past winners. They're all holding like swords aloft in triumph or some such thing. One goblinoid is sort of rubbing its hands together and looking down at something in his hands, but there obviously isn't anything there. It looks like it was carved as it looking down covetously at its prize, for instance. But the human fighter, the elf paladin that are there, they're all sort of got their swords raised. One of them is holding up a holy symbol. They're pretty well carved. It looks like a gallery of trophy rooms.
And they're all
A trophy
unnamed.
gallery. Yes. There's no sort of plaques beneath the statues. They're
Nothing
just sort of
inscribed.
No, they're just sort of arranged.
And
Silly
what kind
silly
of
question,
check
but
would...
so go ahead. I'm just
Okay.
wondering, are they actual statues or are they
That's why I
people
was
turned to
just...
stone?
They're
That's
lifelike.
that's what I was
Yeah,
gonna
like
ask.
way too
Inverted
lifelike,
commas.
or
What
I
kind of check
mean,
would I want to make to check and see if they're really stone or not? Would I be making a nature check?
it would be a nature check, I would say.
Okay.
Do you have stone cunning?
No. No, but I've
Then,
got
then,
proficiency in nature, so...
yeah, well, I'll go. If anyone can make this, if you've got proficiency in stone carver's tools, you can make it with advantage. Anyone.
I don't think I do.
So with a 20, they do look incredibly lifelike. And as you tap one, it feels like stone, but they are so well carved. You have a sort of suspicion that they may be petrified people, but you again can't be sure from just examining them straight up. But they're so well carved. It's actually amazing. Like this guy looks to like you can see his broken nose, like this sort of well, not broken in the stone, but it's like his
Yeah,
nose, his actual nose that's been healed. They managed to carve that somehow. It's quite eerie. Um, part of you feels like, yeah, it's probably a statue, but another part of you is like, there's a Medusa or something here.
I was going to say, could I do an Arcana check to see if I'd recognise these as being petrified?
Yes.
Unfortunately, I don't have greater restoration.
24.
Having Lanwar pointed out each of the sort of imperfections in these statues, you take a weather eye, and yes, you reckon that they're petrified people. The two of you working together sort of realize this horrifying fact.
Mhm.
With that 24 Arcana check as well, you do know that there are a couple of creatures that stalk the planescape that can turn creatures to stone. There are also a couple of spells as well that can do so. Flesh to stone, chief among them. Various creatures can do that. Basilisks, Medusae, certain eye beams from beholders.
I'm not sure if trying to dispel it would work.
Dispel
that
wouldn't work,
might
no.
be a bit dangerous.
Yeah. Dispelling, you can't really dispel it.
Petrified
You need to be.
statues.
It needs to be Great Restoration.
Yeah.
I'm not quite prepared to do a greater restoration.
Especially this many. I mean, we can tell people about us and potentially get a team down here.
Hmm.
Yeah, there's nothing we can do at the moment, so let's leave them.
Don't think this is a very good prize for the fight. Can I do a bit more of an investigation check to see if there's anything to tell where they could be from? To sort of
Their
like
clothes are all of different kinds, but they all look adventure-y sorts.
I want to see if there's possibly any from Adventurers Retreat or any of the other known establishments that we know in Sigil.
Tell you what, just roll me a d20.
Okay. $14?
Looks like maybe one or two of them. None from Adventurers Retreat, but yeah, it looks like one or two of them are wearing like underling sort of outfit. One of the kobolds actually has a symbol of Arcanet Incorporated, which you recognize because it's Pizzazz. It's your sisters, and Lanwar. You've done business dealings before. You recognize it as such.
Okay, now I don't think you would let just any of your their employees go that easily.
It is a kobold, by the way. I can't remember if I said that.
Kobolds are a dime a dozen.
But knowing Bragg, he's not going to let them away easily.
If he even knows that they're actually down here.
Well, if we ever do find Bragg, we should at least let him know where his employee is.
Yes. She'll pass the message on.
And possibly get some people down here to restore these fighters, champions, adventurers, whatever they may be. What's our plan now? I mean, we don't want to find whatever turned them to stone and creeping up on us.
What would I need to roll to get a link between the dead beholders that we saw before and this 10 spoked circle? Would I be able to? What would I need to roll to be able to get a connection between those two?
To link the dead beholders you saw and the symbol, did you say?
The symbol, yeah.
It would probably be at this point a history check, because like I said last week, you are aware of this place, this entity, this organization. Oh yes, there we go. At long last. Because I did give Lan and Dion a chance last week, but they both failed. You're an intelligent sort, and you've been around the block a few times. And as you sort of think back on everything you've seen today, suddenly as you're looking at the statues and you back away from them and you look down at the symbol on the floor, it suddenly clicks, and you grab in your pocket and pull out the scrap of parchment and you look at it and you realize that's not a sun, that's a stylized eye. And inside it's definitely a flower, but it's not a sunflower like you thought. It's a buttercup.
Uh-huh.
You realize very quickly that, and then you remember back, Bragg turned up one day to Adventurers Retreat and to you all with a map of the various locations of the Hezru that were plaguing the city. He didn't talk about it much, but he did say that he had to make a deal with a business associate, someone in the Buttercup Guild.
Uh-huh.
You think that you're in their headquarters.
Cool.
As
a player, that's what I thought it was, but as a character, would have no idea.
As a character, you don't know who runs the place. They're an incredibly shady business operations. They're they're pretty much like the Godfather, underground crime syndicate.
But looking at the parchment, Pizzazz will look to the other guys and go, I think we're in a beholder's lair. This isn't a sun or anything. This is a stylized depiction of a beholder. Look, 10 spokes. Most beholders have 10 eye stalks, plus the dead ones that we saw before.
Oh.
That was a tomb kind of thing. Probably its hands.
Okay.
It strikes you suddenly that might be the real trophy cabinet. All the other beholders that have been killed by this organization.
Okay.
This similarly is a trophy area, and you suddenly realize, yes, beholder turns people to stone.
Okay.
This isn't it's not a trophy for the fighters. It's the beholder's trophy room. These are its prizes.
So you think the main event is whoever survived versus the beholder?
Maybe
Hmm.
that, or it's just collecting strong people and taking them out, so he doesn't have to go up
Or
against them.
forming an army.
Oh, sorry. Since there appears to be some confusion, they're not all in historic victory poses. They're in fight poses.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, it probably was fine against them, and petrified them.
Hmm. So who's the last fight then?
Who indeed?
I think we may
I
want
was
to
going
get
to say,
to the fight.
out of these statues here, which looks the newest? But at least covered in
newest?
dust. At least covered in
Roll
dust.
me a perception check. Or investigation. Up to you.
Oh, you say investigation after I do perception.
Sorry. Well, what's your investigation mod?
11.
Then we'll just add another 9 to that. My bad. Yes, as you quickly look around the room, you see one statue that's actually sort of hidden behind a couple of other ones. It's slightly meeker looking. It is of a kobold. It is of the kobold of Arcanet Inc. Looks to be the newest. Last couple of weeks for sure.
Pizzazz, yeah. Would Pizzazz think that Bragg might have brought them here to fight for him as like a champion sort of thing?
Oh, maybe. I mean, Glack did mention to you before we started on this quest line that some of the people in the factory are getting a little worried, and one or two of them have even gone out and tried to search for him. Most have not found anything. One or two haven't returned and were just assumed to have been as Noids, sort of like bought or traded or attacked or something. But now you definitely know the fate of one of them.
Yeah. I think Pizzazz turned to the other guys and say, I think we're on the right path. Like you said that some of these kobolds from the factory might have gone looking for Bragg. I think this was one of them.
Oh yes, that's Steve.
Is it Steve? I don't know. I never learned any of their names. They all look the same.
Oh, Steve has a similar penchant for sandwiches like Glack.
Is he holding a sandwich?
That would be funny. He's gone into battle holding a sandwich.
He's cowering. But there is like a sort of lunch pack on his side. There might be a sandwich in there, but it has turned to stone. You sadly can't tell whether this guy died holding a sandwich.
So the kobold is in like a cowering position rather than a fighting position.
Yes. It is a kobold. Most kobolds aren't as heroic as the two that have traveled with you.
Glack, I feel you need to avenge your brother there.
And then vengeance will be ours.
You get to punch.
Let's get to the fight.
Punch a beholder.
Let's go punch stuff. Come on, let's go.
So you head back to where the fight was happening?
Yeah.
All right. Glancing out, you see that the dwarf that was listening in at the door has vanished off. You do hear footsteps running in this direction, though. Quite clearly dwarvish, sort of, oh, hope I'm not too late, sort of huffing and puffing. It looks like he's finished his rounds, his inspections, and is running back to try and catch the fight. As you yourselves slip in through the door and head down, a set of stairs before you. On reveal tool. There we go. You head down a set of stairs, and as you open the door, you see that it becomes much clearer that yes, this is an arena. The wave of the noise greets you, and as you sort of scout down, get to the base of these stairs, you see you're on a balcony, which is filled with people of all sort of persuasions, mostly demons, devils, a couple of aberrations. You swear you can see like a grell that's sort of standing, well, not standing, sort of floating behind into the side of a dark elf man who's watching the proceeds rather nervously. There are a couple of dwarves here and there, grey-skinned, brown-skinned, light-skinned. There's a couple of kobolds over here who are running like a bookmaker's shop. So I should say this area here, the black-lined area, is like a balcony. There, you can't see that staircase leading up, just so you're aware. But this one leads. You can see that balcony leading up. This balcony here, yeah, there are people making bets, people going to and fro. It's very sort of Mos Eisley Cantina sort of style. It does. You guys, you realize, being an adventuring sort and being generally good aligned, and heavily armed, would kind of stick out slightly. And the Pass Without Trace will only help you so far. But the place is very sort of heavily populated. As you get to the edge here and look out over the balcony, you sort of squeeze in. There's a rather large, muscle-bound, grey-skinned angel. Its wings, not feathered, but rather a skein of pulled taut sort of leather, skeletal almost. It looks like some sort of fallen angel. But he's looking out over the arena and just sort of almost smelling, meditating kind of thing. As you slip in behind him, his towering form shields you from most of the rest of the people. Sort of look down into the arena, you see just blood all over the place. You see drag marks, bits of flesh, bits of people that have been ripped off. You see one guy's arm that's just sort of been left discarded. There are a couple of people looking to try and clear that up and sort of rake the sand into a semi sort of acceptable state. It looks like they're setting up, finishing the setup for the main fight. As you look over to this large sort of alcove, three figures in there, three figures in particular, aside from all the servants, meet your eye. In the center, there is a large ball, about 8 foot in diameter, floating gently above a rather large sort of cushioned throne. 12 eye stalks coming off the top of its head. And it seems to be just being fed Jabba the Hutt-like by various servants. There's a little tankard of fish and hideous-looking, almost like aboleth babies kind of thing. These terrible tendril-like critters. It's even got a wee bat-looking thing that's sort of laughing and chortling at its feet. That terrible, terrible laugh. Standing on one side of it and sort of behind, looking every inch a bodyguard, is a shield dwarf, sort of darker skin, bare chested. It's long black hair tied up in like a top knot. Looking like observing the scene in the arena with a look of like a grimace on his face. One of his hands, I believe it's his right hand, his left hand, has been replaced by what looks to be a crossbow of some description. His face is heavily scarred. He's incredibly hench and muscled and tattooed to all heck. And on the beholder's left-hand side is a tall, it's almost like the mountain, very tall, close to 7.5 feet, just incredibly hench and wearing armor that's the shiniest looking armor, like incredibly polished, incredibly magical and gleaming. Slung over his back is a large great axe, which, Glack, you recognize. At this distance, you can't be sure if it's the exact same one, but it's remarkably similar to Bragg's great axe.
Oh.
And as you watch this figure, it's standing with an upright sort of zest, a confidence that it's projecting. This might be Bragg. You're not sure. It's definitely got something about it that reminds you of him. That sort of bearing, that sort of regal bearing. But it's sort of scanning the crowd on this balcony, seemingly making sure that nothing's wrong, nothing's up. But he's just sort of standing there in bodyguard tandem with the heavily muscled and tattooed dwarf. Would anyone like to do anything before the sort of arena announcer announces the final fight?
Don't know if we're going to get involved, but there is something I want to do for if we do get involved.
Go on.
It will mean we're losing pass without trace if I switch to this.
What is it?
I will enhance our abilities. Give us a advantage on our constitution, and also some extra extra shielding. I'd say for a little bit protection, a little bit more stalwart. You know, like a bear. I will essentially be casting enhance ability at 7th level, so I can catch all 4 of us.
My God! All right, and that gives you advantage on Constitution checks, right?
Yes, and 2d6 extra health.
Oh, sorry, that's my smoke alarm. Hang on.
Yeah, let's
You're
not have the
burned in the house now?
let's not have the person whose story we're trying to. Yeah, I think it's to cast it 7th to get all 4 of us. Because it's.
Yeah, just roll the hit points, please.
Okay.
That's Elemental Bane.
Oh. Ah! Why did I hit Elemental Bane? Enhance ability. Alright, I'll need to de-click that and press it again.
7.
7
Cool.
extra hit points for us all.
Cool.
And we all have advantage on Constitution saving throws.
Isn't it Constitution ability checks?
Oh, yeah, there's a check, sorry.
I'll let you take that back if you want, if you thought it was con saves.
Wait. I was sort of also want to do it for the extra health for us as well, so.
Okay. Well, you can get the same effect with the aid spell.
I don't have aid.
Okay.
The target has advantage on Constitution checks temporary hit points, and yeah, just. I thought it was saves. Doesn't matter. I wanted to give us extra health anyway, and that's the only way I
Okay.
could do it.
Okay.
So,
So the oven has packed up and set the smoke alarm off, which is nice.
Oh,
everyone, you've got 7 temp, and you got
Mhm.
the checks thing as well.
It's concentration up to an hour, and it's 5th level, by the way, Lan.
Oh, I don't have to cast it at 5th?
Yeah,
Alright,
because it's a 2nd level spell, and you're targeting 4 people.
okay. I will fix that then.
So the question is, do we want to go in and cause a massive disruption? Or shall we see what the fight is first and then cause a massive destruction?
Oh, this
I
will...
would say, yeah, let them fight first, and then take them out when everyone's weaker.
I also need to make sure that my thing's not still using passport trace. Well,
oh,
I wasn't meant to click the stealth there. It was just I was trying to take off the boost I get
you
from.
can go up and like attack them straight off.
No, I can't, because I lose 10 of that, so it would be 23. And I wasn't trying to roll a stealth check there. I don't even know why.
Oh, that's fine.
But I've cast the spell on them. So we're all feeling like a bear now.
Rawr.
Well, unless anyone else wishes to do anything.
No.
No.
Okay. Perfect. So the announcer, which is a rather scrawny-looking, no-legged imp, on a tiny little sort of floating platform. Its arms look disfigured. Its face is sort of disfigured. If you've ever seen The Hobbit, there's like a little creature that's on like a wheelie thing in the Goblin King's lair. It looks like that. And it just sort of comes out and says, everyone, welcome. Thank you all for being here. Welcome to the final fight of the day. And what a fight we have for you. One of the most powerful creatures in Sigil itself has been brought to ruin, has been brought down to your level, corrupted beyond belief. A noble creature, one might say. What would you say to an adult gold dragon? A cheer grows up, and accompanied by boos from people who, like the demons and devils in particular, who are like, oh yeah, gold dragons, yeah, they're goody two-shoes, all that sort of thing. And fighting this beast, having the honor of slaying it, for the glory of our great leader, Buttercup. And he bows in sort of deferential ness towards the beholder, who rises slightly out of the throne and waves a couple of its eye stalks in the air in that sort of regal, sort of yes, thank you, that's me kind of way. Our leader's champion, the undefeated, the boisterous, the bodacious, the brilliant Bragg. And the heavy armor wearing person by Buttercup's side clunks forward down these steps here and into the arena, raises its axe up in the air, doesn't do anything but raise the axe in a sort of salute to the crowd, puts it on its shoulder, and seems to wait.
Can I see a headset on him or anything like what we are wearing?
He's wearing a full helm.
So I can't.
No, you can't even see its face. It's like I described. It's very much like the Mountain from Game of Thrones.
I try it, all the different mental frequencies to try and see if Bragg, and cycle back to the one we were on, and all they hear is Bragg. Does he?
Bragg doesn't respond actually, but you do hear back. A curious voice, one which you hadn't heard for a while, or not a voice, but a curious sort of telepathic message. You seek Bragg? Who?
Who is this?
It's Mary. The
Marigold.
master's
Bodyguard.
Have you? Who is this? Is this?
It's land
And just sort of pauses
Glack.
as if thinking. Yes, the master's old companions.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You must help us. He was taken, prisoner, captive. I know not where, but I heard him screaming. We're telepathically linked. I can sense his presence. He's near.
I think we're looking right at him. To be honest with you,
I don't understand. I would have felt his presence. His mind is not active. I sense he's nearby. He is not active. He is not active.
There is also a beholder standing right in front of us. And we did.
I know of the creature you speak. It is the Buttercup, head of this guild.
And I think he keeps strange company who may have wiped her friend's memory or mind.
Impossible. I'd be aware of it. As you're having this conversation, a gate sort of slides up in the far end of the arena, and out comes plodding a massive, heavily scarred adult gold dragon. Actually, it looks slightly bigger than an adult gold dragon. It looks more of an ancient, actually.
Not our
And
leader.
as the crowd sort of goes wild, the imp sort of gestures and says, "Oh, did I say adult? Yes, I meant an ancient." And the crowd go fucking ballistic. And the fight starts, and Bragg is clearly showboating, or the person you assume to be Bragg, begins sort of showboating, but not with his usual sort of zeal. It's very much a kind of effective kind of drawing the dragon into a trap, sort of as it maneuvers its head, it fires its fire breath. He does a quite remarkable athletic dive out of the way. More than once you watch as he sort of caught in a couple of tail attacks, a wing attack. The dragon can't fly, by the way. It's too narrow. It's not a tall enough arena for it to fly. But it is on the ground. It's sort of making use of its claws. More than once it bats the figure into a corner. And you watch as the commentator's commentating on it the whole time. And as Bragg gets sort of knocked off his feet and into this corner, the axe flies out of his hand, and he's just lying there on the earth. The crowd are like moaning and crying and like, "Get up," sort of thing. and as the dragon sort of moves in closer to and just summon the last of its fire breath onto the figure, you watch as it's an almost imperceptible shift, but Lanwar especially with your massive perception, watch as the figure's hand twitches, and as it leaps to its feet, the axe is rematerializes in its hand, and it's cutting. And in a second, the fight's over as the dragon has its head cut completely off. The figure holds its axe up in the sky once more, and the crowd goes mental. The bookies across there, the kobolds, begin arguing with one another and with their customers. No, it doesn't count as a KO. It counts as a decapitation. Does it count as a fatality, brutality, all that sort of stuff, that jargon. Meanwhile, the figure is just drenched in blood. It raises its axe. It turns. It puts the axe away, and it heads back up the stairs and stands next to the beholder. And we'll say that's happening while you're having a discussion with Mary, the Maragon.
My question is, it's not not the ancestral dragon that leads my guild.
Oh, Elder Adrak?
Yeah.
Roll an insight check.
Okay. Oh God.
Make it good.
Insight is one of my good stats.
Could be.
You wouldn't murder my fucking leader, would you?
It could be the leader of Adventurers Retreat, but you saw him a couple of days ago, surely.
I think if I even thought that, I'd be jumping down there and casting Spare the Dying.
It's got no head, man. Don't die! That's like shouting at someone who's being lowered.
On, you'll be fine.
Yeah, it's like shouting at a coffin that's being lowered into the ground.
No, you're not dying.
He's not. He's just having a nap. But you watch. This was clean. It was efficient. It was
precise.
It was an incredible fight. It really was. It was a marvel to behold. However, you're very aware it takes more than one adventurer, even of the kind that you guys are, to destroy so utterly an ancient gold dragon.
Yeah.
You're unsure. What would you like to do? The fight looks to be sort of winding down. People are bringing out drinks. It looks like it's turning into a party, a celebration. Anything you wish to do?
I know I'd be doing, but I'm gonna let Glack take the lead on this one.
Do you think we can take him at this point with all these people around?
We need to do something to get his mind back. We need to do something to get him back from whatever he's turned to. Because that was too... Even most of us wouldn't be able to take the leader of the Adventurers Retreat. And that dragon's similar to our leader, if I hope not our leader.
Well,
that looked like an ancient gold dragon. I thought it was a dragonborn who was the leader of Adventurers Retreat.
I thought it took the form of a dragonborn, because we fought its dragon form before.
Have you?
Yeah, it became an ancient gold.
Yeah, we had to try.
Alright.
We had to try and survive as long as we could. So we had me darting around or trying to stay hidden.
I stayed invisible.
Whilst we fell into the pit.
Yeah. Anyway, that was a previous fight. What are we doing now? You're hearing over the earpiece. Are you... Where are you?
We're near a fighting pit in front of where, what was the name of the damn thing again?
Buttercup.
Buttercup.
Buttercup, yeah.
In front of Buttercup. Right now.
You're at the arena.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm near there. There are a number of cells below the arena. They keep the fighters down there. I've been forced to. They took the master away. To where I know not. But I can sense him close, within a mile. Surely still within this base.
Do we free the Maragon, or do we actually just go in and challenge ourselves?
I say we should free the Maragon.
Yeah, we could do with his help.
Yeah.
We
Which way did they take you?
below the arena there are a number of cells which he essentially directs you to. As you look over the balcony, you see an iron gate behind which are a number of cells. They keep the fighters who survive in there. In here. This is where I am. If you can get me out, my magical abilities, I can't teleport. My magical abilities are dampened while I'm in here. If you can get me beyond the iron gate, I can help locate the master.
So even my skills wouldn't work to teleport you out?
I know not. It stops intradimensional travel, like a dimension door.
Can I?
Okay.
What we could do is go down to his cell, use the portable hole I found, and he could go through that.
That's not how portable hole works.
Oh, is it not?
No.
No, it's essentially like a big pit that you can put stuff in.
Oh, okay.
Can I look and
Thought it
see?
was like Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
No.
Can I
Story.
look and see if he's within 60 feet of me? If I can look through the bars?
10, 20, 30. No, because you're above the pit. The pit that from the balcony is 40 foot down. And he's you can vaguely see through the iron door, but he has told you that he's in his own cell, if you like. There are other people in here, other creatures. We could possibly use those as a distraction or to help us to escape. Yes.
Would I be able to get there with one of these, with Glack? You've got thieves' tools, don't you?
Again, you're 40 foot up, so it's halved when you carry someone, I believe.
Yeah, it's 30. That's why I was saying, would I be able to get there with 30?
Well, you could jump down full 10 feet and then hidden step.
Yeah.
There are still a fair few people on this balcony, and they seem to be waiting for something. And as you begin to imagine what the sort of escape attempt is going to be, the muscly dwarf standing by Buttercup raises its right fist in the air, and suddenly everyone quietens down. The beholder itself then raises slightly off its cushioned throne, and its voice is magically echoing throughout this chamber now as well. As you can see, sorry, I need a brief water break first.
Okay.
Because my throat's parched from talking.
Fair enough.
That's refreshing. As you can see, the beholder says, with my champions beside me, and with you all, My fine companions, we will infiltrate. We will infiltrate the upper city. The 16 megacorps will all fall. And we will move from the shadows to the light. And rule over Sigil. The Gabrus conglomerate will fall thanks to the infiltration work of our newest ally. And everyone turns to look at the fallen Solar beside you. Thanks to him, we have a way in. But what we do when we get there is up to us. As you can see from my champion, the experimentation done by my chief scientist, Nihilo, was a complete success. And this is just the beginning. With 12 more like him, imagine what could be done. With 40 or 50 or 100, Brightside himself would cower before us. And then a cheer goes up. Brightside towers will fall. Then Zytek, and the rest, and Sigil will be ours. And just chaotic, maniacal laughter. Laughter which is joined by everyone in the room, pretty much, except for the armor-bound form of Bragg, ? But now, I will retire. Enjoy yourselves. Please make use of the pit. And above all else, remember, do not disturb me, or you will be turned to stone. It returns to its throne. That ominous sort of warning in everyone's heads. They're all looking about like, yeah. And you sort of get the sense that this beholder might be a bit, well, mad. It presses a button. One of its eye stalks presses a button on the throne, and the three figures in that area shimmer slightly and disappear. The imp announcer says, "You heard the boss," and stairs materialize around you. Well, they're leading down into the arena, where a sort of shimmering silvery ball is dropped from the ceiling, and lights begin playing off it, and essentially a disco begins. A party quickly takes place.
Use this opportunity to try and get into the
Get
cell.
to the cells through the party goers.
Mm-hmm.
As you head down the stairs and sort of make towards the cells, someone, a troll, which Glack, you actually recognize because you spoke to this troll earlier. It's wearing a headband of intellect.
Oh, the bartender.
It's sort of nearby, and it's accompanied by a large orc gentleman, very pale blue skin, very fancily dressed, very dandyish, foppish. And he's sort of speaking in his greasy, sort of obsequious tone. saying things like, "Yes, Miss Herr von Ranchen. As you can see, the boss has only the best champions in store. I'm sure if you were to order 3 or perhaps 4 of the super soldiers for yourself, all manner of things would be available to you." And the person who you suppose is Herr von Ranchen, the person whose party you intonated you were from, says, yeah, well, we shall see. I have seen it in action but once. I wish to see more. Tell your Herr Buttercup. I wish to see a personal demonstration of the power of the super soldier. Immediately. Jawohl. Yes, but of course, Herr von Ranchen. Right away. Please. And sort of gestures for the orc to follow him. And the two of them sort of retreat back up the stairs and back up the passageway that you came from. You stealthily sort of make your way over to the bars. You can see the cell doors themselves are made of silver arcanite, but this one is just an iron sort of cage. There is a keyhole as well. Imagine party music. Hollowback Girl is playing because this guy hates his party guests.
Shall I give it a little try to open?
Yes. Go for it, Glack.
Just gonna quickly turn around, dink, turn
Yeah.
back.
Just sort of behind the backs of your two larger companions. You just sort of turn towards the lock and wiggle it about a bit, and it clicks open, and you're able to make your way inside. It's much cooler as you sort of head along the path. Is anyone sort of standing guard or anything like that?
I will stand here. I won't be much use trying to get them out.
I'll stand guard and see
Okay.
if anybody comes this way.
Yeah, so you two roll me a perception check while Lan and Pizzazz head inside. This corridor is... oh, hold on. I lost it. Excellent. There we go. Contains 4 cells separated by bars. The rectangular silver arcanite doors have locks built into them. But they seem to be almost realigning themselves every 30 seconds. I forget what the names of those locks are, but they're like refastening themselves, sort of. In the cell nearest to you, there are 3 inhabitants: a large ogre, a minotaur, and what looks to be an orc, but not quite an orc. It looks more like an orc. Orc plus. The tusks are almost like deer antlers, and as you get closer, you swear that the minotaur as well. Yep, no, that's a Gristro. The orc, no, that's an Orug. Yep, and the ogre, no. Well, oh, actually, that could just be an ogre. Oh no, wait, it just changed form. Yep, no, these are all some form of demon in this place. Though what they've done to get shoved in here, you don't know. In cell 2, you see what look to be just general sort of thugs. A couple are sort of bandaging up wounds. They're like gladiator sorts. There are 4 of them in there. In cell C, you see 2 dark elves. with the cell to themselves. And in the fourth, there are a couple of halflings. What look to be 3 people who are wearing white arcanite collars. 3 dragonborn, in fact, wearing white arcanite collars, and also the Maragon.
Well, I don't know if I can use my ability to get in there and get out with these kind of doors. I suppose I can try.
Mm.
And if I can't do this, who can unlock these damn things?
Can you possess?
Probably not. No.
I can give it a good shot, but
do you still have
fast.
your black arcanite shears or daggers, or your blue arcanite lockpicks?
Oh, yeah, I would probably have
Something like that.
black arcanite shears still. Because I only borrowed them, like, I think a while ago.
Kill those evil weeds.
So, I don't know how well I can cut with shears, but I can try and...
I will allow you to use each shear as a dagger, if you wish.
So just use it as a normal...
Each blade you can use like a dagger to pick the lock.
Yeah, you could jam it into the lock and try and dispel it. Easily enough, you manage to wedge the one of the blades in. Roll me a d20 to dispel, attempt to dispel the magic. Oh my god! Wonderful. As you sort of glance around, actually, you notice what appear to be wires, like almost silver arcanite threads, coming from each lock. And as you sort of follow them, you see they all sort of make their way down to the floor and along to the back corner, towards a hole in the wall. But you reckon you can just make out the sort of outline of a panel, either invisible or behind a stone wall. You can't be certain until you sort of blow on it, and it's just like you manage to get your very fingernails into the crack in the wall and just sort of pull it aside, and you can see a complex, sort of almost like fuse box.
Mm-hmm.
And you think this can actually release all 4 cells if you jam it in there. With your nat 20, I will allow you to either free the cell with the Maragon in, or if you choose, release the Maragon, the 3 Dragonborn, the Halfling, the 2 Drow, the half a dozen thugs, and the 3 demons.
I want to unleash everything.
You'll unleash everything. Okay.
Yeah,
Can anybody check
Yep.
to see if that's like booby trapped?
It's a bit late now, and plus I think a booby trap's not going to do much against black arcanite shears.
Yeah. So that nat 20 actually dispels everything. Yeah. So you watch as 1, 2, 3, 4, the locks get blown apart. First on the nearest cell, and then on the second, third, fourth. While that's happening. Oh, and by the way, stepping out of the 4th cell immediately are the 3 demons: the Garistro, the Oreg, and the I believe it was a Yochlol that could transform. Yeah, and the Yochlol. They all come traipsing out, sort of nod at you with an evil grin, and charge through this gate. Cut back 20 seconds. Dion and Glack, you're just sort of guarding it, trying to look nonchalant. the few well-armored and well-weaponed, well-armed and well-armored Noids at this party full of demons, devils, a fallen celestial, and slaves, basically. You get a couple of... So a rather large-looking devil with rather curly goat horns comes sort of traipsing towards you, Glack, and says, why aren't you in the kitchen?
They're feeding the prisoners. And I'm waiting out here to help carry the plates back. I was ordered to.
I see. Well, what sort of... Are you a chef yourself?
Nope, just here for the manual labour. And I hold up my tiny little arm.
You know, if you'd like, for a small fee, which you won't even pay right now, you'll pay in, years to come. For a small fee, I can make you stronger than any man alive.
So
What do you say?
What would the fee be?
Oh, nothing really. A paltry sum. You're not even using it right now. So,
I so want to see Glack punch him just for the...
Well,
show how strong he is already.
It's just your soul. Look, you're not even using it right now.
I look left or right. Does it have to be my soul? Because Jim in the kitchen's an absolute dick. If I give him, if I arranged for him to give up his soul, would that be acceptable?
So we've established the argument already, and now we're just haggling over price. Is that it?
Of course. Who wouldn't want to be stronger?
Indeed.
That way I can serve the master better.
Well, give me a call. And he sort of produces a gout of flame in midair and produces a small red business card, which he hands you. And he says, call me sometime. We'll talk. As he sort of glances past you and sees Lanwar jabbing the shears into the fuse box and opening the gates, I would say this party is about to get pretty wild. Take care, little kobold.
I look forward to talking to you again.
He bows and sort of puts his hands into a sort of pointed pyramid and beats like a hasty sort of a beeline for the stairs heading up, and sort of begins to sip a drink at the top of the stairs and just looks to be about to enjoy what's about to happen. As you glance down at the card, by the way, it says Asmodeal Soul Collections.
Ooh.
It could also always be useful, and I put it into a pocket.
Excellent. As you glance over your shoulder similarly and see three demons, you sidestep and they just charge towards the party and start wrecking shit. The Maragon escapes with you. These three here are dragons. Much like there was a fourth. It was taken. They cannot return to their true form while they have the white colors. Do you have more of the black arcanite?
Is the shears...
You hear over the... no, it's a once per day dispel magic, I believe.
I can dispel magic?
Only black arcanite can stop the white, as far as I'm aware. Out of world, I don't know. I would need to check with Chris.
But I'm afraid my shears have been spent. For now.
What's the plan now? You've released all the prisoners. Everyone who was thrown in here is probably going to attack unless, well, not attack you, but head out the cells. They thank Lan as they pass. They nod at Pizzazz. Grab weapons off the racks by the door here. Anyone want to do anything before they sort of charge out into the fray and begin attacking demons and devils?
Is there any kind of lock on the collars that someone could pick?
As you look over the lock, no, there doesn't appear to be any sort of mechanisms. It looks like a solid, just white band, really. Just a ring around their necks.
Okay. Well, unfortunately we can't help you for now. I do have another dragon friend, and I also know where we could maybe get other black Arcanite shears later. But for now, unless you want to get involved...
In this form, we are powerless. We don't even have our breath weapons.
I would probably suggest you beat a retreat out of here. Or at least...
All right. Where's the exit?
Can I direct
You
them?
don't. You don't know, do you?
We came through a teleport, man.
There was the teleports back. Can I describe where the teleports that we thought the other guy came in through?
Oh, the entrance hall. Yeah, sure. Yeah. We will attempt to get out that way.
I would suggest go to level 5 of the tower.
Which tower?
Of Brightside Tower.
Ah, very well.
And I tell them the password to my grove.
Okay.
There is also green dragon there who may...
A green dragon?
Yes, he's good right now. He's got the mind of a good sword.
They nod as if this is an everyday occurrence. Ah, yes. This we understand. They head out. You yourselves, are you just going to follow them? What's everyone doing? Ben, you've been quiet.
I'm just letting the story go.
Just enjoying the story.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I was thinking, I don't really want to do it because I want to save spell levels. But the white bands, would a dispel magic take them off?
Roll me an Arcana check.
I mean, if you can figure it out it works, then I can assist you with the dispelling.
You reckon a dispel magic might suppress the effect, but not for very long. They would need to be sort of taken off with either the correct key sort of phrase, although as you look over the things, it doesn't look like anything slots into them, so it must be like a password or something.
Is there anything carved into the bands?
No, they're just solid white bands of this crystal. But yeah, you reckon as a spell magic might, if cast at a high enough level or with a decent spell casting check, might suppress it for a few minutes, an hour, however long, you don't know. But you'd need black Arcanite to destroy it properly, I would say. Or disintegrate. Disintegrate might work.
Might also take off their head.
Might do, yeah. Might do.
I mean, I can assist with a dispel and possibly give them a better chance of getting out here without...
Yeah. I'd rather keep my spell slots.
Yeah. Let's.
Very wise.
Yeah.
Like the question is, with these extra men, do you think we can
I was
take
going to try and
Bragg
make a
out.
deal with them. If they help us to defeat the beholders, we can help get them out.
Now that Mary's been freed, he does say that he can probably lead you in the direction of Bragg.
Mhm.
Assuming, of course, that one you saw isn't Bragg. Who knows? Maybe it was.
Well, maybe lead the way.
I shall lead. And as he goes to the door, sort of waits for a second as the fallen angel flies past with its leathery skeletal wings, grappling the Garistro, the
Do I
Yochwal reaches out.
recognise the Garistro?
Oh, you recognize it as a Garistro. It is not
It's not.
it's not the Garistro.
There's more
No,
than one.
there's more
Yeah,
than
I
one
know.
goddamn Garistro, Neil.
Yeah, I know. I was just wondering if it might have been the same one.
Yeah.
So that one's a
Uh,
puddle now, is it not?
Yes. You charge past and up the stairs. Glack, the devil, sort of nods at you. His slicked back hair. He himself has a glass of very fine red wine, which actually pizzazz you'd recognize it as the very rare wine, which is made of celestial blood. Sort of nods at you as you sort of fly past. Winks. You head up this staircase. And into this corridor, and Mary stops there and looks to the right and then to the left, and then says, "Strange. I'm getting two readings. One sleeping, and one that's awake but not. It's strange. I don't understand. There are two readings. This shouldn't happen. This shouldn't happen."
His Bragg's consciousness might be separated from his body.
I would go towards the one that's sleeping.
Towards the one that's sleeping.
Yes.
Are you all
Yeah.
agreed?
Yes.
Sleepy Bragg.
Then to the left, he charges down this corridor and towards the slimy area. You head through. Well, you wait. It's near. It's near here. We're getting close. I can sense it. There are the Kuatoa in the way. They've just finished. They're finished feasting on the corpse of the dwarf.
Can anyone speak to the Kuatoa?
What language did they speak?
They speak Kuatoa
Okay.
and
Do we need-
Undercommon.
Maybe do we need to go through them, or is it through the door?
On the other side of the. It's past them. It's on the other side of the gate.
Do we think these Kuatoa are reasonable, or they just eat at the dwarf?
Let's just beat them at volleyball again and be on our way.
Can I make an insight to see if these guys look feral or?
They do indeed look feral.
I don't think there's reasoning with these ones.
You could destroy them easily. There is the matter of the ghostly eye stalk, which is more pressing, protruding from the center of the ceiling.
Do we have anything to do with the eye stock up there?
I mean,
I still
not
have.
something-
I was going to say I still have that scroll of fog cloud.
Yeah,
Go for it.
do it.
We'll kill these in a flurry of blows.
Yeah, you summon the cloudy energy, and you suddenly they go. "Oh, oh." Clearly alarmed, but you charge and you cut them all down. Moving through. The slime covered floor is difficult terrain for everyone except for the Kuatoa, and
Even for me?
all creatures except Kuatoa, creatures that have the slippery trait, and creatures that fly. It's sticky slime. But yes, you charge through this fog and arrive at the portcullis. The leader of the Kuatoa looks to have a key. Where is he? Yeah. As you open the portcullis and slip through, oh, actually, you can peer through the portcullis. Do you want to do that before you open it?
Oh yeah, definitely look
Yeah,
through.
have a
Yeah.
look.
Sorry.
I will
So,
perceive my way through.
yeah, sorry about that. Yeah.
It's my natural perception anyway.
Yes. Let me just open up this thing. We're getting pretty close to the end.
Mhm.
So, as you peer through, you see in the middle of the room a blood-spattered chair made of carved stone standing atop a 10-foot square, 1-foot high stone slab. Iron manacles are bolted to the chair's armrest, and trapped in the chair is a stunned, weaponless male dark elf in a chain shirt, trying to free himself of his bonds, but making no progress. There is no one else in this room. The drowsy, the dark elf seems to see you and says, "Well, get me out." Oh, shit. The Flayer. He's in the next room. Please get me out. Huh? I'll help you. Have you seen my sisters? They should be around. They would pay handsomely to see me again, I'm sure.
Who are you?
Inside
Who
check.
Did you say, who are you?
Yeah.
I am Zybon Kisalt. I'm here with my superiors, two of the Ovrinda sisters. Of the House of Rinda, the House of Silk. Are you with the House of Silk? Have you heard of them?
Heard of them?
I wanna...
Yes, the Great Arcanite, the Great Arcanite group. Yes, in Brightside Tower. So, if you take me back to them, they will surely pay you handsomely.
Insight where he's actually telling us the truth.
Appears to be telling the truth. Yeah, he just wants to get out of here.
We're currently looking for one of our friends at the moment.
Well, I'm a little tied up here. I can possibly help you find him if you let me out, huh?
Information first?
I think he's going to give us information. It's whether can we get him out?
Are they just standard chains, or?
Yeah, they're
How
just
is he
standard.
restrained?
They're just standard chains. You think from here?
Then I will go and try and pick the locks.
Can we not ask him what his restraints are made of?
They are made of. They're made of silver arcanite. They are essentially they're dimensional shackles.
Well, then I cannot pick the chains. It looks like we may need the key.
Shit, the mind flayer has the key. As if on cue, as if saying it, that caused them to appear, stepping from the northern door, an intellect devourer in its purple claws, is a very familiar looking form, that of Nyler, the mind flayer who escaped you, but about 2.5 hours ish at this point. Behind him you can make out a large sort of pool of water. You think it's water anyway. Playing around the edges are yet more of these brains, about half a dozen at least. He seems to look at you, and if you could ever see a beaked, tentacle-covered face smile, this Mind Flayer's face would split into a grin, and you all hear inside your heads telepathically, well, well, well. It looks like dinner will be early this evening. And then a high-pitched sort of woo, like a dog whistle sort of thing emits from him as all the brains in the room beyond look to perk up in your direction, turn in your direction, and begin to charge.
As soon as that,
and that's where we'll pick
whistle,
up.
I was going to say, as soon as that whistle went off, Pizzazz would have been casting Disintegrate at him.
And as that whistle occurs, as the intellect devourers begin to charge in your direction, away from this pool of greenish fluid, Pizzazz begins to conjure this black smoke about his form. The drow winces slightly. That is where we're going to pick up next time.
Ooh.
Oh, well. We didn't get to some of the places I thought we'd go, but we got to some places that were quite fun. My God, that chili thing was great. I applaud you, sir, for such creative finding and cooking. Never have me for dinner at your house.
But in actual real life, I have made my
bright
friends
red.
cry with chili.
Apparently, my
Um,
update of things didn't go through again. I'll have to change it in the VOD.
That's fine. Well, that's all from us this week. Thank you all for playing, guys, and thank you all at home for watching. I've been James. This has been Alterra, headquarters of the Mad Capitalist. And until next week, always remember to spay and neuter your intellect devourers. Thank you and good night. Be awesome to one another, everyone. Bye-bye.
Night.
And no, I'm not clickbaiting you again, Prodigy. Bye.
Bye.